Just want to quickly tell a story about a dot-com client I had back in the day. The problem with dot-com businesses generally was they were overfunded and under-led. So what happened was we had these quite inexperienced managers trying to create a flat management style rather than the hierarchy that you get in a more traditional business. They were trying to, and obviously we didn't have lean or agile or any of these things, they were trying to create a product quickly, use the investment to try and get things over the line and get stuff done. The problem is they lacked the technical knowledge, they lacked the leadership knowledge, and they spent too much time kind of chatting and playing with startup stuff. It's very easily done. I think the biggest mistake they made was to not have a business strategy that was aligned with the technology strategy. So they just have to panic buy technology. They bought a new Exchange server. Bear in mind, this was 20 something years ago. And it just wasn't powerful enough. And the directors of the company were saying, well, why doesn't this work? Is that because you've taken on another 200 people? My sales director said, it's like, yep, you bought your Rolls Royce, but the problem is you're using it to tow a jumbo jet. I went there one day, they'd hired like 150 people. It was desks, chairs, computers. Didn't know what they were doing. And 6 weeks later, they'd gone. They'd spend all this money on conferences and fly around the world. And there just didn't seem to be any joined up thinking, any idea whatsoever about how they'd make money. And after all, that's the whole purpose of a business, is to make money. I know some businesses exist in certainly startup phase to kind of grow and build a technology hub, which is fine. And I think even if you're buying that business, you understand that. But ultimately, you're going to have to get the business to a point where it makes money in the long term, at the very least. We've only got to look at Amazon. Amazon lost money for a long, long time. And look how hugely successful it is now. But it nearly went bust several times. There's probably better ways they could have built out that business, spent less money, and got to the same point. It's challenging. And the problem is, from a leadership perspective, there's a lot of things going on. You've got cutting edge technology, the e-commerce stuff was new, that was a lot of development work, and Amazon accidentally became one of the biggest cloud providers. How did that happen? Now, it's a bit like with 3M. I think businesses often end up going down a completely different path than the one they'd envisaged in the first place. And as a good leader, it's very important to recognize those opportunities when they come up, but also realize that you've got to have some kind of framework or basis on what you're doing, or you're just going to spend a lot of money and not make any progress. And part of my job is to kind of rein the technology back and make sure that the spending is sensible, that the deliverables are there, but also that you've got something that will scale with the business. And that's quite a complicated and challenging proposition. So I do need to kind of talk to you about where you want the business to go. And you have to be realistic. Are you going to have 200 or 1,000 people or 50 people or 5 people in 3 years' time? That's a very different business with very different technology requirements. And obviously things change, but if you can get the plan closer to what you're actually going to do, it's going to be vastly cheaper and way more successful and way less stressful, way less doing work at 4 a.m. Anyway, just kind of thinking about that dot-com thing and things to avoid. Weak leadership, overspending, lack of a plan and the strategy of how you're going to eventually make money. They're really key things for any business, and I'm sure plenty of people have told you that in the past. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like to know more, click on the link below.